Hello friends, welcome all of you. Today we will be studying about interpersonal conflict, which comes under unit 4 of the OB syllabus of UTU. Okay, so let us see what is conflict. So in this we will be talking about communication and conflict, defining conflict, the origins, okay, the consequences of conflict, the factors influencing conflict, the different styles of conflict, and then we'll also be talking about disputes and negotiation, conflict management and resolution skills. Okay, now what is conflict? It is actually, when we talk of conflict, it is a critical situation, okay, which can be called as mild tension or incapacitation. Okay, it is actually, it undergirds the formation of opposing issues. Okay, and conflict is something, communication is something which plays a critical role in developing conflict. Okay, so if the communication is not good, okay, and if the communication skill is not properly executed, so what happens? The perceptions of the felt conflict translate into emotions and perceptions and result into conflict behaviors, right? So if we define it as like two or more independent parties who perceive incompatible goals, scarce resources and interference from others in achieving that goal. Fine. So when there is a competition between two interdependent parties who think that they have incompatible needs, goals and desires, it is conflict. And it is the interaction of interdependent people who perceive that opposition of goals, aims and values, means who have opposite ideology about the goals, aims and values of the other party, okay, and who see the other party as interfering them in the realization of their goals. So that is conflict. Now there are actually some important terms which we should talk about. It is interdependence. Obviously, in any organization, the employees are also dependent on other employees, even the employer, and the employer is dependent on the employees for getting works done. Then scarce resources. This is because of the scarce resources that conflicts arise in any organization, and there is a lot of interference, okay, because since so many employees are part of the organization. And social interaction is there in each and every organization. Hence, all these, they become the source of conflict. Okay. Then, if I talk of the origins of conflicts, there are 4 events that precipitate interpersonal conflict. First is rebuff. What is rebuff? It is a failure to respond to an appeal for desired action. If any employee is not responding to the appeal of his boss to do a work, it is called as rebuff. Then illegitimate demand, these are like the unjust demands from the bosses, from your employees, okay, from the team of people. Then criticisms, these are actually this is actually a unfavorable verbal or non-verbal act, okay, against any employee or against any person. Then cumulative annoyances, these are the repetition of instances that crosses tolerance, okay, and they create conflict. The 5 factors that favor the development of conflict are frequency of occurrence, goal mutuality when the goal is same, goal path uncertainty when the direction where to go for pursuing a goal is uncertain. There is attribution of cause, and there are negative feelings, okay. Now talking about consequences of feeling there are negative consequences, okay, like being less effective, suboptimal productivity. These consequences actually result due to conflict. Okay, so what happens? The organization becomes less effective, the productivity is suboptimal, and the cognitive functioning actually is also affected as a negative consequence. Now, positive consequences are that people identify and better understand the issues. People also talk and demand for clarifying the issues, okay, and creative solutions often come out of a conflicting situation as a solution. Now, factors which influence conflict. These are content related and personal. The size of conflict, okay, and the rigidity of the issue. How much is it important to be rigid on the issue, okay? When there is no flexibility between any issue, so there is rigidity, okay, and because of power differences also, power is one of the factors which influences conflict a lot. Then individual personalities, traits and dispositions, obviously they play a significant role in initiating conflict. Now, what are the different conflict styles? First is strategy effectiveness, okay, adapt to the situation. What under this? First you adapt yourself to the situation, be fair and be objective, okay, and the words that you say should be appropriate and effective. Then mutual awareness, you should know what is important to the other party and what is important to you as an individual, and you should obviously be mutually creative. Then open-minded attitudes, you should keep your attitudes as open-minded attitude, and you should have willingness to ignore power issues, and there should be more problem solving procedures. Now, characterizing the features of conflict styles are, there are 5 basic conflict styles. First is withdrawing, you avoid the situation, avoid the person with whom you have difference. You smoothen, you start accommodating with what the person wants, what are his just and unjust desires. Okay, then the third is forcing, you start dominating that person, okay, or competing with that person. Then confronting is you collaborate or do a problem solving that is integrated. Then comes compromise. Some people compromise, so that is also a kind of conflicting style. Now, ethical climate determines effectiveness. Okay, what is ethic? Ethics are the values. So, formal procedure, what comes under ethical climate? The formal procedures, rules, okay. Then, according to CMMS scale, Ross and Devine, concern for others, and what happens that ethical climate determines effectiveness of conflict style. So, this is like concern for other, self and issue. Now, these are some of the companies who have different conflict styles. Like in McKinney, it is they are concerned for others, okay, and issue positively related social conformation with social experience, and they have concern for self negativity related to social exposure. In Nicotera, what happens? Avoiding is a conflicting style. Accommodating is also a kind of style. Okay, then competing as being assertive and versus aggressive. So this is also a style, and collaborating style is also there. Okay, now how is flexibility influenced? It is influenced by liking, loyalty and personality factors. Now coming to the research that has happened, okay, superiors conflict style and rewards for subordinates are these. After a lot of research, these are the rewards for subordinates which have been found, okay, and which can to a great extent reduce conflict. These are system awards, performance rewards, and interpersonal rewards. Interpersonal are related to recognition, friendship. Performance rewards are related to decision making. System rewards are related to salary, benefit, promotions. Okay. Now, what are the results? That collaboration and forcing styles predict interpersonal and performance rewards. Okay. No relationships are identified between accommodation and perceived rewards, and between manager conflict style and system rewards. Now, talking about conflict styles, continuing with conflict styles and research, diversity and gender has also been a significant topic. Okay, and workplace diversity and orientation towards conflict can heighten the frequency and intensity of conflict situations. Personality has a greater impact on conflict style, and bargaining can be used as a compromise. Now we are coming to disputes and negotiation. Okay, what is when participants negotiate mutually shared rules and then cooperate within these rules to gain a competitive advantage over opponent. So this is called as negotiation. Bargaining and negotiation can be interchanged. Okay, then there are some terms in this. Aggressiveness are at the expense of others when you do something. Authoritativeness is the sources of social position, and observability is visible to social audience. Okay. Now, when we talk of negotiation process, again, the goal of negotiation is no longer getting an effective settlement, but what is the goal? The goal is redefinition of the problem, then bringing about perceptual change in the elements of the problem, and new appreciation of social and historical context. Okay, and you have to use communication as a transformational power. Okay, transformation power that transcends notions of technical and instrumental rationality. Now let us talk about the resolution skills. Now first understand the factors contributing to conflict. Next we identify the methods for resolving conflict through the forms of conflict resolution. Now talking about the identifying of methods for resolving conflict, I would say that there are two kind of conflict resolution skills. Okay, distributive and integrative. In distributed, it is like there is a disagreement to prevent others from reaching their goal. Okay, conflict is taken as win. Okay, and winning through the use of negative behavior is an important part of distributive conflict resolution. While in integrative, what happens? It fosters cooperation and shared solutions. Okay, it modifies idea and it searches for solutions and provides support for others. And objective is to share values, highlight common objectives, and help achieve consensus. Now, when we resolve a conflict, once individuals realize that it will be impossible to achieve a desired goal, the transition can take place. Now, integrative conflict resolution skill set. What it is the ability to establish effective working relationship. Okay. The employee must be able to manage the group process and group decision making. Okay, he should be knowledgeable about the issues, and the interpersonal relationship at the core of ability to resolve conflict involve effective development of co-workers. Okay, then to give importance to